Hello everybody, happy Monday, good day, good day. It's been a few days since I've uploaded a video onto YouTube here, so I wanted to check in, just say hi, tell you guys what I've been doing, give you guys a little bit of a mission update, and then we can chat for a few minutes about all the current events, all the news, all the things going on. So first of all, let me tell you why it's been about 4 or 5 days since I've done any YouTube videos or any content here on this channel, and the reason being is because, as you can kind of see, I'm switching up my humble abode a little bit. So I've moved my office and all of my filming stuff down into another room, and I've been kind of situating it here, getting it useful. You can see the bookshelf in the back, all the books, hats, things like that, my organite. I've got my desk here. Over here, you've got the classic black background I've been using for the videos I just stand up with, and the blackboard. I think I might be utilizing the blackboard as opposed to the whiteboard in certain videos from now on. You guys can let me know what you think of that. If you like the look a little bit more. Here, I'll show you again. It's I think it looks better, looks a little more professional, doesn't reflect quite as much, and I got myself a nice little ring light there. Can start making it look a little nicer when I do those board videos. But I think that looks awesome. And then over here, that's just my, I've been trying to make the audio sound a bit better in here. So that's some foam I've been playing around with on the wall there. And this room sort of sucks. It's pretty echoey. You guys might be able to hear it. But I'll be working on putting a bunch of foam up and blankets, things like that on the walls, make it sound a lot better in here. So yeah, excited to use that blackboard. I'm figuring out how I'm going to do my videos. You know, the ones I used to do, I was always sitting at my desk, but I find that I'm just more comfortable standing and being able to move about, move my arms rather than sitting and being more kind of boxed in that way. So I might try to do like my everyday updates from that blackboard. I know a lot of you guys say that you follow along better when you have a board there, like behind my head, that you can read from. So I might try to see if I can do some sort of like screen capture plus board videos for the whatever everyday updates, and then maybe utilize this desk for something else, maybe live stream, like live stream podcasts, video casts or something like that, multiple times a week, or just my rant videos, like sit behind my desk and, you know, have a cup of tea with y'all, go to town on whatever subject. So speaking of which, I'm going to try to get that live streaming set up, right? Actually be able to use that HD camera and nice Bluetooth microphone with live streaming, get the software all hooked up on my computer. So that'll be one of my next projects. One of the next things I'll be working on is that. So new board, new room, audio will be getting better as I work on it. These posters, these maps, you know, Dylan's Q map there, and then Champ's Great Awakening map, those go on the wall behind me. I'll be putting up some cool stuff that people have sent me over the months, art and things like that on the wall too, showcase just the cool stuff that people send me. People are always sending me cool stuff. So I'll definitely be putting in the background to say thanks. And along with that, what else was I going to update you guys with? My website. So that's another thing I've been working on the past few days is my store, my web store. You know, I've had Ormus up on there. I took my Ormus down for a few days. Some people have been messaging, emailing me about my Ormus. That'll be back up on there later this week. And then I had some Organite, some sweet custom-made Organite pieces that were up there, but they went very fast. I only had about 40 pieces to sell, and once I put them up, they were all gone within 24 hours. So I'm looking at getting more of a supply in for goods that you can go grab from my web store. And if you want to be notified, if you want the announcements when I get stuff up on there, go to my website and sign up for the newsletter. That's one of the best places that you'll get notified when it goes live. So there's that for my website. And then, yeah, I'm pretty much just with this setup here trying to make things as streamlined and comfortable for myself as possible to do more videos, make it easier for me to make more videos with. rather than doing just like one a day. I want to make it really easy for myself to do that, have it up within like an hour or two, and then maybe go live here and then just do different kinds of content. So trying to make it streamlined as possible, you know. Thanks for the super chat, my friend. Is there a who's who's list yet of Gitmo detainees that I know of? Definitely not. And I would imagine that's not going to be made public until many other things are made public. That's sort of my thought on that, you know. Some people are saying that tribunals are already happening. There were some theories or speculation, I believe, from like the first week of January that, oh, tribunals are ongoing now. But I mean, that sort of stuff is going to be so classified, so sensitive, that how can we expect to get leaks or to get info on that? You know, I'm very wary when I hear any sort of tribunals are started or there's people in Gitmo or stuff like that. Could be clickbait, could be people taking things that have been said out of context or whatever the case is. So we'll see. And I mean, we can chat. I guess that kind of segues us. There wasn't much I had to update you guys on. The new filming setup and things on my website. But we could talk about current events. We could talk about things going on. We've got the State of Union address tomorrow. RBG watch. Is she alive? Who knows? I think it's over a month and a half now that she's been missing. Ooh, whoops. Hold on. That's the one I wanted. Sweet. So, Super Bowl. Some people are talking about the Super Bowl. We can chat that. I tried to watch the Super Bowl. I passed out within 15 minutes because that stuff is just so boring. But you know, when I watch sporting events like that or national entertainment pieces, we can call them, whether it's the Oscars, the Grammys, the Super Bowl, something like that, I'm always looking for the symbolism. Always looking for the symbolism when it comes to what's in the commercials or when it comes to the Super Bowl, you know, the halftime show. Back in like 2012, 13, 14, those years when, you know, the cabal was in control then, much more control than they have now. God, the symbolism at the Super Bowl halftime show is just getting disgusting. And I can't remember who was performing, but all those ridiculous instances of halftime performances that are just, you can see all the pyramids and whether it's a light show or they got their all-seeing eye embedded somewhere. It's just nasty. And then all the commercials they had were just loaded with symbolism as well. Tried noticing that last night, and at least for the short amount of time that I stayed up for watching the Super Bowl and what I did see, it's like all the commercials were either about robots, something social justice, a lot of like feminism, we call toxic feminism, and what was the other one? There's a lot of like killer slasher movie previews and stuff like that, like a Hulu show and a Netflix show and stuff like that, where there's like murders, like crazy amount of weird. I mean, you could tell there was some sort of subliminal they were trying to get to you through there, but I mean, just boring, like super boring. And that's kind of how I view professional sports in general these days. Don't get me wrong, I'm all for athletics. I'm all for sports. I think competitive sports is a great way to get out aggression in a positive way. And of course, you know, when there's good sportsmanship on both sides, et cetera, et cetera. Sports are very helpful, especially for our society. We have a very warrior, aggressive society, so it's great to blow off steam. But the problem with professional sports at the top levels that we have is, of course, they're basically, you know, slaves for the dollar, doing whatever they can to perform at those levels and be on their team. And, you know, they're all just puppets, basically, for a big old bread and circus. Bread and circus. It's exactly what it is. It's what the ancient Greeks and Romans would call their spectacles that they have. Bread and circus. Same thing George Orwell wrote in his book. Said just fill the people to the top with bread and circus. I think he called it beer. That's the modern day bread, you know, liquid bread. Fill the people to the top with sport and beer, and they'll never think twice about the slavery that's going on. Bill Cooper said the same thing. Great video of Bill Cooper talking about how sports are just used as a distraction completely. Same thing as the media. And then these sports stars are propped up, much like these Hollywood singers and actors, to be the authorities, the people, the folks that people look up to for inspiration when they really shouldn't be. They're not very good people, many of them. So, yeah, man. Glad the Super Bowl's over. On to what? The next season of whatever bread and circus sport, right? John of God, some people are talking about. John of God. All right, let's discuss that topic. So John of God being that spiritual leader, so-called spiritual leader out of Brazil. And what's very intriguing to me, why I'm very cautious about this, is because, of course, for the last couple of months in the media, we've seen these allegations begin surfacing from a lot of different people. And they sound credible. They sound disgusting. I mean, we're talking about like child sex slavery and grooming and things like that. But, okay, they sound credible. When you look at the people that John of God figure from Brazil was talking to, involved with, pictured with, time and again. I mean, many of the biggest name, we could say deep state players there are. Clintons, others. And then at the same time, though, I've heard from some Brazilians themselves that have messaged me saying that the mainstream media is trying to attack the guy. They're trying to take down the guy in Brazil, so it's all false allegations. But at the same time, I mean, with this much surfacing, I believe even his own daughters are saying certain things about him, kind of, who knows? So who knows? But with how much information is surfacing, kind of like, yeah, maybe he was. Maybe he was. Maybe he wasn't as well. You know, that's kind of a story I'm waiting for a lot more information on. And I think a lot more to surface from that. Because at the same time, we're seeing a lot of this stuff blow up in the mainstream media. Mainstream media. So some deep staters trying to throw him under the bus. Are they attacking him because he was doing good work? Maybe he was a sick individual. Of course, a lot of things always possible in this day and age. Thanks, Clayton Manley. Appreciate it, man. Trying to do something for his fellow beings, just hard when you're caught in the loop. I totally get it, man. That whole 9 to 5, trying to, you know, make ends meet at a job. That's something I was doing, and I decided to quit. It wasn't easy, but that's just where I felt my path was taking me. All right, guys. John of God was featured in the Marina Abramovich documentary, The Space Between. Haha, there you go. That's another one of those connections I was trying to think of. Marina Abramovich. Being featured in a documentary like that, you know, it's definitely questionable. That's why I don't know if the people telling me that he was actually a good guy, I don't know, maybe they were misled too. The main accuser of John of God killed herself. Yes, as well. So that's a huge story blowing up. And I'll see where the next day or two goes with information that surfaces, and then I'll give more of my piece in all of that future work I do. Where's all the Q talk? What happened? Good that Q popped on the scene again last Friday after about 3 weeks gone. They probably just dropped a couple, you know, long blackout they gave us. Probably just dropped a couple posts to keep us, you know, say basically we're not going anywhere. We're still here, you know, doing a lot of stuff behind the scenes. We got bored, Colby said. Yeah, we got disorganized. It's the biggest thing. People get disorganized, and when Q's gone, you begin to see it after a few days. People start getting like anxiety. They're like, oh, I need my Q fix. It's like they can't. It's tough for a lot of people to manage themselves. So it's always good when the generals pop back on the scene with Q. Give people that direction again that some of them need. When Q goes away, there's a lesson in that as well. You know, Q gives us a blackout for a few weeks. You got to learn how to be able to have a self-discipline, direct yourself. As Mama Jams just said, Q teaching people to rely on themselves. Very important there. Trust the plan, deplorable Bobby says. All right. Edge of Wonder, somebody mentioned. Yeah, I hope you guys saw those 2 interviews I did with Edge of Wonder that they released about a week ago. Those were fun to do. We just sat down at an event we were at together, and then they were able to get me on camera. Finally, been meaning to get on Edge of Wonder for a while. So that was cool for them. And now I need to get them on my channel. And also, I was on the X22 report. So Dave from the X22 put up an interview we did about a week ago, last Saturday. So you can go check those. If you were having some DTI withdrawals. Thank you, Philip, for purchasing a Bub Majestic. Appreciate it, man. That movie's still going around. Yeah, I agree, Colby. X22 is a good dude. Always a good time talking with him on that channel. I'll go ahead and link those interviews down below when I'm done with this here, if you want to go check them out. Mia asks, I would love you to talk about more of your ascension experiences. Yeah, that's a good question. You know, I do get woo-woo on this channel, but I don't get quite as woo-woo as maybe sometimes I want to, or sometimes I should. I will. I definitely will. I'll open up more about my experiences and whatnot. What brand Ormus do I take, Jamie asks. It's my own brand. It's my own brand. It's going to be up on my website a little later this week, so be on the lookout for that. It's very good stuff. I'll be releasing some video content and possibly an interview to describe more about what exactly it is and how it may support you. RBG, dead or alive? It's proof of life. I mean, I go like 3 or 4 days without doing a YouTube video and people start messaging me asking me if I'm okay. I don't think we've seen RBG for a month and a half, 2 months. Is she okay? I mean, I just want to ask her. I want her to tell us that she's okay. Ooh, someone said a Bub Majestic was shadow banned on iTunes, but I still bought it and watched them. Thanks, Chase. I know a Bub Majestic was shadow banned on Facebook for a minute. They deleted some. We tried to sponsor some posts. You can sponsor posts and Facebook will throw it into people's timelines. We tried to do that, but they didn't. They nixed it with a Bub Majestic. That was interesting. Pacer Pindar. P, I see some comments about that. So Q referenced P in drops months ago. And P is basically one of the top of the food chains. That's what Q is referencing. Could B be Pacer? Pacer was a family in 1800s America, early 1900s. They were huge in a lot of industries, made a lot of money. And their name sort of went out of the history books. And it's even more occulted or more hidden than, say, the Rockefeller or the Rothschild name when you're trying to look up bloodlines and which families control things in the deep state, etc. So, Pacer, man, that's a interesting family to connect the dots with, Pacer. And then there's some people believing P could be Pindar. Pindar meaning the, from my understanding, essentially a reference to some sort of Draco ET that could be assisting some of the malevolent families here, some of the evil families, bloodlines. So P could be one of those. I don't know, they both make sense for me. P being Pence or Pelosi. No, not Pence or Pelosi. Any of the politicians that we see, you know, Nancy Pelosi, Hillary Clinton, Chuck Schumer, the Bushes, Obama, any of these deep state politicians, they're not at the top of the food chain. They're probably a degree, 2 degrees, even 3 degrees away from the people who are really in control. Those are the names you don't see. They don't do the interviews. They hang out in their billion-dollar mansions and yachts outside of the public eye. Might even hang out in their hideouts in Antarctica, right? Maybe. All right, I'm going to rapid fire some questions here. Got a bunch of them in succession. Let's see here. I should do a video on plasma technology. Yeah, man. That chalkboard's going to get some use coming up here. I'm going to do a lot of videos explaining my thoughts on things, the way I see things. Is there going to be Above Majestic 2? Definitely more documentaries coming. Definitely. Trying to have them out this year. I want to do a Q documentary. That's one I definitely want to do. What do I do in my free time? I eat a lot of food. I eat food. I play sports. I lift weights. I read books. I listen to music. I listen to a lot of music. I ponder existence. That's what I do in my spare time. Let's see here. Tesla Musk release rumors synced with cancer cure. Yeah. Saw this article going around about Elon Musk releasing his patents to humanity for whatever reason. From my research I did on that, it's not so much that Elon Musk is releasing his patents to humanity. What Elon Musk did is, about 4 or 5 days ago, just tweet a link to a blog that was put up on Tesla's website back in 2014. And this blog just said that they're not going to go after people who infringe Musk's patent rights to work on electric car technology. So it wasn't necessarily he was releasing his patents to the world. He was just sort of reiterating the idea that Elon Musk doesn't like to go after people for patent infringement, which is cool. But at the same time, the actual patents that Tesla is going to have, or Elon Musk, excuse me, is going to have, it's not going to be free energy, 0-point energy, etc. related, you know, the real hardcore technologies that I want to see released to the public. So, it's cool that Elon Musk claims to not go after people for patent infringement, but at the same time, it's not like those patents are paradigm changing in any way. They're public patents. The important patents are all classified. Look up the Invention Secrecy Act of 1952. Some 6,000 patents, maybe even more, maybe up in the area of maybe 7,000, are classified. And they can be classified by any branch of the government for, quote, national security concerns. You know how vague that can get. National security concerns. So basically it means free energy technology, or very efficient electricity creation technologies that the deep state doesn't want out because the oil barons want their money. Or they want the smokescreen organizations like NASA and Tesla to be able to also make them money. Let's talk space. I'm down. What kind of space questions y'all got for me? What do I think? So Joel asks, what do I think about all this talk about cold fusion? Is it just a distraction from free energy? Well, no, but yes, you know, cold fusion is a form of free energy, essentially, over unity energy. But at the same time, cold fusion's been around since, I believe it was developed in the 1980s by two scientists out of Utah. The thing is, what we're hearing out of like MIT and the mainstream media and universities now is that fusion is about to be developed. They're claiming that they are going to be the ones that develop it and bring free energy to the public. Little are they going to tell you it's actually been in existence for 40 years. Inventors have been suppressed and killed over it. You know, this is the idea of a partial disclosure or a limited hangout disclosure. The deep state is running a lot of limited hangout disclosures into the public right now. Many by way of, I mean, they're trying to run limited hangout disclosure operations with UFOs, with free energy technologies, with a lot of other technologies as well. You know, I believe MIT also were quietly admitting that they have technologies that can beam audio into a person's ear through a laser, focused audio. Nobody can hear it but that one person. Now, MIT is claiming that they just developed this, but if you research the voice of God or voice-to-skull technologies, these have been around for decades, since 1980s or 70s even. So that's the idea of a limited hangout. They give you a tiny sliver of truth, but they don't give you the backstory, they don't give you the more damaging information, and they try to placate you with that one little sliver of truth, make you think that's all there is. So you go, oh, okay, this is it. You know, I don't need to look any further, and then they can brush the rest of the stuff under the rug, right? This is a massive reason why the deep state is trying to bring out a limited hangout or a partial disclosure with UFOs. Notice a lot of the same people trying to bring forth these UFO disclosures into the mainstream right now, like Senator Harry Reid and John Podesta, are extremely corrupt people. Why are they trying to disclose UFOs? Because they only want to give us a sliver of truth about UFOs, make us go, oh, wow, distraction. And then they can try to brush the rest of their crimes, right? John Podesta, the rest of his crimes under the rug. So, very important topic to do more work on. What's happening with the sun right now? Damn good question, David. Saw somebody mention the Suspicious Observers video that I tweeted the other day, earlier in the comments section. If you haven't seen Ben Davidson runs the Suspicious Observers YouTube account. That's observers with a 0, Suspicious Observers. He is a scientist that tracks solar weather, space weather, the electric universe, just a lot of fantastic ideas like that, a lot of, you know, more hidden physics, occulted physics. But he really digs deep into it with a mainstream scientific mind too. He's great at bridging the gap there. But he has been doing a series called the Earth Catastrophe Cycle. And he is some 15, 16, 17 videos into this series. He's been releasing them since mid-December. So yeah, he's quite a few videos into it now, but it's a great sort of mini multi-documentary series detailing what you could call the micronova. This could go by many different names. You could call it the micronova, you could call it the solar flare, the solar flash, the solar shift, whatever you want to call it. But essentially, a big freaking galactic solar Earth disturbance is coming our way. And the ancients tried to tell us about this. They left us a lot of clues. There's a lot of clues in ancient scripture and art and all sorts of stuff that there's a big cycle change coming that involves a solar flash, a galactic superwave, and a Earth pole shift. So the Earth is like this, and it's about to go like this for a little bit. And it's going to get interesting. I just got that. It's my little magnetic Earth spinner. But nope, it's not, people say. Well, where's your evidence? Because I'm giving you the evidence for my case. Go look at Ben Davidson's series. It's amazing. Been keeping up with Suspicious Observers in Dutch since for many years. Yes, Kajet Sujin. I've also been watching Suspicious Observers in Dutch since and Mr. MB33333 and channels like that for years because solar weather is crucial. I mean, talk about Earth changes, climate change, all these changes going on. What's the biggest impactor of Earth? The sun. Big damn ball of plasma in the sky rotating, sending us all sorts of charged particles and electromagnetism our way. So we might want to figure out what's going on with that sun, how it's changing, how it affects us, right? Let's see. These are some big ideas, guys. These are some really big ideas that I'm throwing at you. It might be a little outside of your perspective. It's a pretty big picture, but expand yourself. You know, don't stay in that comfort zone. Comfort zone's a beautiful place, but nothing ever grows there. Comfort zone is a comfortable, warm, safe place. It's your safe place, but you got to get outside of that safe place, right? All right, guys, any last questions? What do I think February will bring? Yeah, man. Things are going to get hot this year, that's for sure. Things are going to get really hot. State of the Union. Shoot. I'm not even going to speculate on that. Ah, someone brought up the V word, vaccines. The VA word. Yeah, I'm going to be doing a video. I'll be doing a few videos coming up with that Blackboard to try it out. And I'll be talking a lot about vaccines. Because there is all sort of hysteria going on. And hot damn, how convenient. At least in Washington State here, they're going to be doing some hearings about mandatory vaccinations. They're looking to take exemptions away for the MMR vaccine. So how freaking convenient is it that all this media hysteria about measles outbreaks, you know, they claim ones in Washington even, is blowing up right now? Shoot, did Big Pharma freaking pay off politicians in this state here to get on board with this media hysteria? I know Jay Inslee, the governor of Washington, has donation dollars from Eli Lilly and Pfizer. Damn. Connect the dots. Please, no more amateur videos on vaccines. Sounds a little trolly if you're directing that at me. I mean, I talked to some of the biggest names in the vaccine field. They're not necessarily amateur. Hi, Jordaka. Hi, Brenda. Big Pharma is more than likely threatening to release biotoxins. I would venture to guess, and there's evidence out there to say that they already have. Look up mycoplasma, MYCO plasma. Freaky little things, little bioengineered agents. That's why detoxifying your body is so crucial. Helps with your mind as well. Block that vaxxer. Thank you, Leonard. Appreciate it. Listening every chance you get. Hashtag Space Force. All right, guys, so that's all for this one. Just wanted to check in here, talk to you guys for a little bit. Like I said, new filming setup, more videos coming. I'll get into a groove, see what's easiest for me. Works best for you guys as well. More stuff coming up on my website soon. Patreon's out there for all you guys that want to have some fun on Patreon with me. I do giveaways, I do live chats. Anything that goes up on my website, I tell people on Patreon first. So if you want to hear first about that, subscribe there. And what else? More interviews, more things coming. Thank all you guys. And